This is Counterpoint, and I'm your host, Tanya Granic Allen. Speed cameras, they're everywhere, quietly watching, constantly flashing, and racking up thousands of tickets a day. Politicians say it's about safety, but if you've ever opened up your mailbox to find a $75 fine for doing, say, 42 and a 30, you might suspect otherwise. Is this really about protecting school zones or padding municipal budgets? More and more Canadians are starting to ask these very questions. These automated systems don't pull you over. There's no discretion, no context, just cold robotic enforcement, and a quiet erosion of the justice we expect from our legal system. Across the country, frustration is boiling over. Drivers are pushing back. Lawsuits are being filed. Provinces are reconsidering their policies. And this isn't just a traffic issue. It's a question of how much control we're willing to give up in the name of safety and whether the surveillance state is creeping in through the back door. In his latest piece in the C2C Journal, it's a rallying cry. Hot ticket, my role in the coming downfall of speed cameras. And we're joined by the author, John Robson. John, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time.
Well, it's a pleasure. Though I feel I should have come on in a stripy suit or perhaps a little mask, and stubble to indicate that I am a criminal element and an enemy of the Republic, because apparently my driving after more than 25 years without a ticket has suddenly become a major issue, at least for Bad King John's successors in our corridors of power.
So, before we get into your personal intersection, if we can use that pun, with speed cameras, where did these speed cameras come from? For many of us, it's kind of been a reality for the last few decades. It's been a slow creep, perhaps.
It seems to be partly it was because of the development of the technology. There was an initial wave of speed cameras, and then they were being challenged partly on issues of calibration, but the machinery has gotten better. But the other thing is that governments are desperate for money, and so they're looking for anything and everything that will put more of it in their pockets. I mean, here in Ottawa, the mayor is always complaining that we don't get enough money from the province and from the federal government. But Ottawa is one of the richest municipal areas in Canada. We've got all these public servants here earning six figures doing who knows what, other than putting in radar cameras. And so they're saying that these other levels of government should go and get money from, I don't know, Kapuskasing, wring it out of the people there and pour it onto us so that we will have even more money. If the government of Ottawa cannot live within its means, what hope is there for anybody else? But obviously they see a way of getting more of our money, not by cracking down on bad driving, not by penalizing the stuff that we all want to see prevented, but by criminalizing the way normal people drive. And that's why I call this a breach of the social contract. This isn't about better enforcement of laws we all agree with. This is about suddenly enforcing a legalistic interpretation, a pedantic and literalist of rules that nobody, and here I will emphasize, when I say nobody, I'm including police officers, politicians, and judges. Nobody thinks that there is an actual legitimate public interest in seeing to it that nobody ever goes 12 kilometers an hour over the posted speed limit. You go on any road in Canada, you just stand by the highway with your own radar gun, and you will see police officers in marked cars and unmarked cars flying past you, and they're just driving at traffic speed. And yet suddenly, the government smells money in our pockets doing no good, whereas they could have it, and then it would be marvelous. And that's what has led to these things proliferating.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but in your piece you outline that the first evidence of a speed camera was in Texas, I believe.
Yeah, they started there, which I would have thought was a bad idea because people in Texas tend to carry firearms, and you'd have thought they'd have shot them all down. Not that I'm encouraging anybody to commit vandalism, but it seems to me that it might have happened. But what did happen is that the public was outraged. And that's an important clue, right? If you have police officers with radar guns pulling over unsafe drivers, there's no groundswell of public opinion saying, no, 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 let them stunt drive. But this stuff, even in a place, it doesn't matter whether it's a kind of libertarian place, because Alberta was an early adopter in Canada, which is kind of odd, but it doesn't matter where you do it. Everybody hates them, just about. And with a passion that should reveal to the authorities that there is something going on here other than Canadians' infamous desire to be scofflaws, because we're such orderly people, right? When they told us to wear socks on our faces during COVID, we were like, yeah, okay, cloth on face. Like, I mean, it may sound like a digression, but no doctor would ever have worn one of those cloth masks into an operating room. But we, on the whole, are far too deferential to authority. So when even we boil over at these things, they ought to listen to us instead of just going, ha, the peasants are revolting. Yuck, pass the smelling salts.
Okay, we're going to pick
And the
this up
handcuffs.
we're going to pick this up in just a moment.